Hello, ChatGPT. Could you please intro the Puncher's Chance podcast to me and then give me your prediction whether or not Moses Itauma will get a knockout this weekend?
Hello. The Puncher's Chance podcast is a show that focuses on the world of boxing. It covers upcoming fights, reviews past matches, and interviews fighters and experts in the sport. The hosts provide insights into the fighters' strategies, their training, and their chances of winning. As for your question about Moses Itauma, I don't have real-time updates or predictions about specific events, including boxing matches. It's always best to check the latest sports news or expert analysis for the most accurate and current predictions.
Like us.
Well, there you go. Yeah. ChatGPT doesn't know the answer, but we will try and answer it today. A bit of a different intro there for you. ChatGPT doing the honours. Moses Itauma fighting Magnificent Seven. Ben will be excited, though he's not here to say it.
What's that now? The fourth episode. He's no longer with us. He is with us.
He's still with us, just about. But he's not here today. But Moses Itauma, it's been a little while coming now, obviously delayed. How much are we looking forward to this one?
Yeah, like you said, it's been a long time, and it's mental to think that Moses Itauma's last fight was against Dillian Whyte.
Yeah,
which is mental. And that fight, as everyone knows, lasted as long as probably all of his other previous fights, you know. And I'm not being funny. I sat here and I can't remember if we previewed that fight. We probably did. And I said it could be a hard night for Itauma, and it proved that, there's something about this kid and he is very special. And it's quite surprising that, ChatGPT hasn't got an answer for us, because I feel like it's an easy answer. Whenever you ask ChatGPT a question, well, I never do really half the time, but when you ask him particularly about Moses Itauma, surely that's an easy answer for ChatGPT to give, a straight answer.
Is water wet? Is Ben old? Yes, absolutely. But the thing with Moses Itauma is, right, every fight, it's been a case of let's get him an opponent that will take him the distance, that will give him rounds, whether that's been Marius Vac, whether that's been, like you said, Dillian Whyte, and that hasn't been the case. Mm-hmm. And Jermaine Franklin is very much, this is a guy who's difficult to stop. Can Moses Itauma stop him? And I think it would be really interesting to see. Do I think he will? Probably. But when? That's the real question.
I think that's the question that everyone's got on Itauma this weekend is, when is he going to get that stoppage? Excuse you.
Thank you.
When's he going to get that stoppage? And I feel like Franklin, we go back to that Vac fight. That was the fight where everyone goes, right, this is where Itauma's going to have rounds in him, blah, 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 and all that. It was over quickly, and then Whyte, blah, 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 loads of rounds in it, and got it over quickly. And if it's going along that theme, then come 11 o'clock on Saturday night, Moses Itauma could be, done within 3 minutes. But I do expect him to take his time to get into the fight a bit more. And I think, especially having that layoff since, August he last fought, I think plays into the fact of it probably goes, it's mental to say as a heavyweight and as Moses Itauma, but I do expect this fight to go beyond 4 rounds, and in boxing, you're probably thinking, come on, that's like every other fight, surely. But with Moses Itauma, you don't know how long he's going to be in there for, and he gets given these challenges and he just gets through them in flying colours, and that's what makes him exciting. And I feel like there's a positive with Itauma now moving forward of the sort of connection that he had since that Vac fight of being the youngest heavyweight world champion. That's gone now. And I feel like that will benefit him moving forward, where people aren't comparing him to Mike Tyson and all that. That's put to one side now. And if he gets through this on Saturday night and gets through as destructive as he did against Dillian Whyte, then my God, 2026, if you're a heavyweight, you need to watch out, because if you got Itauma standing in the opposite corner, one, it's either going to be a very long night for you, meaning that you're just going to get absolutely battered for 4 rounds and then get stopped, or it's going to be a very quick night for you as you get stopped within the first punch of the fight.
Yeah, I mean, let's not forget as well, this is an opponent that's gone the distance with AJ, gone the distance with Dillian Whyte, and won every other fight he's had on his career.
Yeah.
So this is by no means a gimme. There is a world, I don't see it, but, on paper, there's a world where Jermaine Franklin can cause Moses Itauma a whole host of problems, let alone just go the distance with him. The fact that we're considering going the distance with Moses Itauma to be a great achievement, I think, is credit to his attack. we want to see what he's like defensively. We want to see what his whole game is like, and I think we will more. But hey, I mean, if Moses Itauma stops Jermaine Franklin, to be able to say you've done something that Anthony Joshua and Dillian Whyte could not at the age that he had or will have done it at, hugely impressive. It says a lot about him if he does.
So Dillian Whyte's obviously beaten Franklin, and I had this question coming in this morning that I wanted to ask you. Is it in a way, would you make the argument that this is a kind of backward step in Itauma's career where, you know, if you're drawing power lines and all with it all, Whyte's beaten Franklin, albeit via a decision, and then Itauma's beaten Whyte by a stoppage, and now he's fighting Franklin. Is that a little bit of a backward step, do you think? Or do you reckon that there's more to it in the fact of Franklin can ask a lot more questions about Itauma than other fighters in the division?
I also think maybe that Dillian Whyte had fallen a little bit away from his peak more so than Jermaine Franklin has. I think Jermaine Franklin's probably still at very much the same level he was at when he fought the likes of AJ and Dillian Whyte, whereas I think Dillian Whyte was certainly over the hump when Itauma faced him. So from that, I don't think it's maybe a massive step forward, but it is a massive step forward if he stops him. This is the kind of qualifier.
That's why they've taken it. But I think
it's
you can read into
sideways.
It is, yeah.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
They haven't moved forward enough for me.
No.
Fighting Franklin, but it makes for an interesting fight.
But I just think I don't know how much higher up you could go before you start to think that's the problem. Soon. I think it's the right kind of fight.
The thing is with the heavyweight division at the moment, the top of it is so full. Yeah. Like everyone's got fights upcoming. You know, Lawrence Okole's over in Paris, Tony Yoka, you've got Fraser Clark and all those fighters fighting really, really soon. So there's not much room for, you know, Itauma to fight someone. So
Wardley Dubois, sorry. Let's not forget. Like it is crazy.
The schedule for heavyweight boxing and it's not even world boxing, it's British boxing as well. Everyone's taken at the moment, you know, and no one, and I'm not being funny, and I don't blame any of the British, you know, domestic fighters for not doing it. No one wants to fight Moses Itauma. Let's be honest. It's a long night for you. You know, you do that 8-week training camp, you know what's coming at the end of it. You know, you've got probably a 10% chance of winning. Yeah,
I think for me now with Itauma, it's get through Franklin in as impressive fashion as you can.
Yeah.
Then you're giving him a world title gatekeeper and or final contender. And then it's a world title fight. I very much think towards the back end of this year, early next year, we should be looking at Moses Itauma fighting for a world title. And that's, you know...
I don't even think that's a bold claim.
I think he could do it sooner, but I think he will do it then. I think Ben would have you believe he could do it today.
I wouldn't even argue against it. I don't even think that's sort of a statement that someone will make and you go, come on now. Itauma's there. It's just a waiting game. And
it's tick box.
If he fights... if he gets through on Saturday night, we're giving our predictions away. We both expect him to win and win via stoppage, let's be honest.
I don't know.
No, come on.
It's close. I think a fighter that's never been stopped, it's hard to give that prediction. But
true, but luck of the other opponents.
I think maybe so.
He fights the likes of Murat Gassiev.
Yeah, I think that'd be a great fight.
Who had a scary knockout against Pulev back in, where was it, Dubai, I want to say it was.
Yeah.
So, you know, if you fight someone like that, then you start like going, okay, if he's getting through fighters like this, who have taken Usyk the distance. I want to say Gassiev did, if I remember rightly, in the World Series. Yeah. So if he can start doing that, you know, there's comparisons there of people going, well, if he's stopping them, he didn't stop them when he was on the way up.
Yeah, I think a Gassiev fight at the back end of this year, if he gets through this one, is the perfect fight. You get yourself perfectly in line for a WBA. You, obviously the WBO route via Dubois Wardley. If Wardley wins that again, then that's a no-go because obviously they're stable mates. If Dubois wins it, maybe there's a conversation for a fight there, but I don't think it's one that Frank makes. And then, you know, the WBC, Ajit Kabiel's been in waiting for as long as you know, he has been. So I think that WBA route, if you're talking about a world title, is the best way to do so. And therefore, Murat Gassiev is the fight.
I think he takes that fight next as well. I don't even think he waits for the end of the year. And I think for Itauma now, with the injury and the postponement of the first fight card that it should have happened in the end of January, he needs to be active. And if he gets like a first or second or third round stoppage, I wouldn't even be against him potentially fighting on the Wardley Dubois undercard. Just chuck him on there.
Just like a nice little warm-up.
Another fight. You know, it doesn't have to be, all right, we're talking about him wanting to make those steps up. But the thing as well with Itauma is you just want to keep him active.
Yeah,
and you want him under those lights more and more so people can build the hype continuously. And when you get to the end of the year, he probably would have already fought Garciev. And I'm not being funny. He gets through Garciev easily again. He's on, I'm speaking like Benya, but he's on this, the momentum that he's got behind him can only put him in a good place moving forward. And who knows what's going to happen with Usyk, you know, after this, you know, the fight that's happening in the pyramids of Giza in Egypt. Who knows what's going to happen there? You know, does he retire after that? And then what? You know, does Moses Itauma go, right, he's gone, I'm going to dominate now? And that's what he's thinking. And it's a waiting game.
I do think, though, it's you know, it's undoubtable he has world-class, one of the best in the world right now, attacks in boxing. In terms of all of his attacking game, his speed, his intelligence, his power, his accuracy, he's got it all. We haven't seen the defense and we haven't seen the chin. And I think those are the things. Will Moses Itauma win a world title? Yes. I can say with absolute confidence, I believe Moses Itauma will win a world title. Will Moses Itauma go on to be undisputed and dominate the heavyweight division, sorry. I think we have to wait and see whether he has those two things. I think if he's got the elite defense and an elite chin, then he is the future of the heavyweight division.
Oh, he is.
For the longest time. Yes, but, you know, we've seen plenty of talented, quick, accurate, powerful fighters. You know, Amir Khan comes to mind, that was never able to sustain that level because they had one fault in their chin. So, you know, if he gets clipped once and lights are out, he's not going to dominate the heavyweight division. I don't see that being the case. I absolutely see him doing that, but we do just need to see that final tick box. Yeah, he's the guy.
Yeah, and with the heavyweight division at the moment, loads of fighters are on their way out. And what I mean by on their way out of, they're going to be retiring in the next 2 or 3 years. When that happens, Dubois, Wardley probably is still there, but I'd expect Itauma to be already surpassed him and all that.
But he's a world champion.
Yeah, but
surely not.
I think
that's got to be.
He's got a tough fight coming up against Dubois.
Yeah, but he's a world champion. You can't say that. You think by that point, by the time Usyk retires, that Itauma will be a unified world champion.
Yeah.
Do you think?
I'm acting like Benya, but yeah, I honestly think,
because I don't think Usyk's got. I think Usyk's got one more fight left. I think he fights Verhoeven, he maybe does one more. I think AJ and Fury are looking to fight each other, and then that's probably them hang up the gloves.
Yeah.
So I think in
are you talking 12 months then?
I think in 12 months' time we will be in a position where,
and I can see
there is a gold rush.
Itauma dominates then though.
Yeah, but you said he'd surpass Fabio Wardley by then.
I reckon
in 12 months you think he's going to be a unified world champion? No chance.
If the belts are gone, and each individual, so what would it be? Murat Garciev would be WBA, Ajit Kabayel would be WBC, Fabio Wardley or
WBO. Dubois would be WBO, and the winner of Richard Torres Jr. and
I don't think that's happening
Frank
anymore.
Sanchez
but if it was happening, IBF.
Yeah.
I'm not being funny. He beats Richard Torres Jr. or Frank Sanchez.
In 12 months?
In 12 months.
Between now and 12 months, he beats Gassiev and those two, winner of that two. No chance. I think I get what you're trying to say.
I think I can see it,
but I think
people may disagree with me.
I think you're downplaying Fabio Wardley there. Fabio Wardley, Fabio Wardley stopped who at the time was considered at worst the third best heavyweight in the world. And he stopped him.
True.
Whether you think it was an early stoppage, whether you think he was the underdog in that fight,
path, though.
It doesn't matter.
He's going down a different path.
But that doesn't make him...
And he's got a different opposition of...
But that doesn't
people that are there, but haven't taken the route of Joseph Parker. They've got there by taking a lesser known route, an easier route, some people say.
That doesn't mean that Itauma surpassed Fabio Wardley. If Fabio Wardley beats Dubois, he is undoubtedly
the best
number 2 heavyweight in the world behind Usyk. He is, because he's beaten 3 and 4 arguably.
Where do you put Lawrence Okoli then? Number 3?
No.
God. I think we're going to have to again agree to disagree here.
Do you think? I think
Itauma in 12 months' time, he gets a world title by the end of the year.
Yes,
as long as he's fit. That's the question.
Yeah, probably.
And if he looks sensational, gets a first round stoppage on Saturday night, I think he can maybe quite possibly unify at the end of this year. If Usyk, I'm going off now. My argument is going off. Usyk retires in May when he fights Verhoeven in Egypt.
Yeah, but then arguably would a Fabio Wardley Dubois winner not be better placed for a fight against someone like Ajit Kabiel? Or
the thing is, though, people are talking about that. If Usyk stays around, which some people are saying he might do, one more fight. If Dubois beats Wardley, no one's interested in a trilogy with him and Usyk.
No, but surely Dubois would be better placed then to say, in a world where Usyk's no longer in the picture, to say, all right, Ajit Kabiel, me versus you, unify the division.
I don't think Dubois is saying that.
Fair enough.
I don't think Dubois won't say it, but come on now. But we've seen the press conferences. Dubois won't say that.
No, but I just think
I don't think anyone wants to touch Ajit Kabiel as well.
No, fair enough. But
and the only person that could is Moses Itauma. You know, because where's Kabiel ranked in the heavyweight division? 4 or 5?
He's probably number 2 at the moment, you'd say, based off the wins. I don't know the exact rankings. It depends who you listen to.
Do you think that? Yeah, I think we're going to start seeing over the next couple of weeks, starting this weekend, sort of the next 18 months of the heavyweight division play out. And if Itauma wins comfortably, Tyson Fury is in a tough fight against Makhmudov. I don't care what anyone says.
Yeah,
I think that's got 12 rounds written all over it.
Quite possibly, yeah.
Similar feeling that fight has to Otto Wallen, that fight. Wardley then, Dubois. I don't know if that's afterwards. It probably is afterwards.
It is, yeah.
Whoever wins that, they're not fighting until December probably, because that's going to be another sort of grueling 12 rounds. AJ, don't see where he's going. So, and AJ won't fight a Garcia or Kabiel because there's too much risk to it. Whereas Itauma can only gain from those fights.
Yeah.
So
no, I hear what you say. I think that's a quick turnaround to say he beats Jermaine Franklin, he beats Murat Gassiev, and then he beats somebody else for the IBF title in 12 months. I think that's too much to ask.
I'm not being funny, mind. Like I said though, you compare the fighters that he could be fighting. You're thinking.
Yeah, no, I think he's good enough to. And I think Moses Itauma definitely has a higher ceiling than Fabio Wardley. I don't think that's unfair to say. But
late bloomer.
I think you are...
No, it was bloomer?
Yeah. I just think you're being slightly unfair on Fabio Wardley. You know, he's beaten who at the time was considered probably the second best heavyweight in the world in Joseph Parker.
No, I agree with you on that.
So at that point...
But I think... You know, if you're talking about who's going to be holding more belts in 12 months' time,
I think
it's a big could, but I believe that Itauma could have more belts than Fabio Wardley.
He could.
It's a big could.
Well, because Fabio Wardley very well could lose to Daniel Dubois.
He can lose to Moses Itauma. You need to say
we'll yeah, he could, but that doesn't happen because they're stable mates. They don't spar. But anyway, we've got a whole nother great card.
I think we forgot. We've not scheduled this very well, have we?
Because it's a magnificent 7. It's a lot of great fights on there. We might have to speed through slightly. We've lost Liam Davis, Zach Miller to another opponent now, Francisco Grandelli, for the EBU European, but that's still an interesting fight.
Another Italian fighter coming over.
Willy Hutchinson, Ezra Taylor, I am really looking forward to. I think that's a really tasty one.
The back and forth that we've had between them. I think it was ringside at one point. They were going back and forth and potentially some people had to get in the way of them. That should be a cracking fight. Good to see Willy back in action. And Ezra. Shakiel Thompson, Brad Pauls. Brad Pauls, another fighter that was meant to be fighting quite local to Wales.
Torquay, he was meant to be fighting.
At the galleries as well, he was meant to be fighting.
He's meant to be fighting there,
And then this card came around and he pulled out. So that's an interest. And we talked about in the last show about George Liddard. The winner of this, or you can make the argument that possibly the loser of this could fight Jimmy Sains and the winner of this could fight George Liddard.
Yeah, maybe.
So I think there's opportunities there.
I think this one's a really interesting one because I think, obviously Shakiel Thompson's the home fighter there. And
you've watched Shakiel, haven't you?
I have, yeah. I've watched him. He's the unbeaten fighter. He's you'd say the home fighter, so you'd imagine on that he's supposed to be the favourite.
Yeah.
But when you're looking at who they fought and who they've beat, I think Brad Pauls has got a better record, and the fact that Brad Pauls has lost to Denzel Bentley, I don't think's a discredit to him. So I think this will be a really, really difficult test for Shakiel Thompson, and a really great opportunity for Brad Pauls to stick himself back on that major broadcasting picture that he's fallen away from after losing to Denzel Bentley. Unfortunately, we talked about it in the last episode, back headliners for Queensberry, lost one fight against a WBO ranked fighter in Denzel Bentley, and fell away out the picture. And that's boxing. It's a brutal game, but I really like him. He's a lovely guy. I think he's a really talented fighter, and I think he's gonna bring this fight to Shakiel Thompson. I'm really looking forward to it.
And magnificent 7 cards. They always deliver. And we've been quite critical of Queensberry over the last few months about saying that their start to 2026 has been awful. It's probably a little bit harsh, but it hasn't been great.
It looked for a while like it was going to be really good. And then obviously this was postponed. We lost O'Leary Mark Chamberlain as a fight. We lost a few things here and there, and it just kind of fell away a little bit. But yeah, this is a good card. Yeah. And Nathan Heaney, Jerome Warburton. That's a really interesting test.
Can I just say, what an opportunity for Jerome Warburton?
Yeah.
He's been crying out for an opportunity. I want to say he was on a Matchroom show last time out in the Copper Box.
Yeah.
And now he's got this fight, which is, Nathan Heaney's coming off. He's on the greatest of confidence. He could be there for the taking. So it's a massive, massive opportunity for not only Jerome Warburton, but for boxing in North Wales. When he could have created history, I want to say, in his last fight, becoming, I could be very wrong here, so don't quote me, but he could have been one of the first British champions from North Wales. I don't know if there's anyone that's been before him, but, there's a lot of motivation, and he's like someone that could be looking around this card going, I'll see you next. And that's what you're going to see. The thing I love about the Magnificent 7 cards is that so many fighters that are fighting on the card, you can pinpoint, right, that's their next move.
Yes.
They're looking across that table to the other end, and they've got their next opponent sat next to their opponent on Saturday night. So
yeah, I stand by. I think the one that I watched in December of the year before last, I think it would have been now, at Wembley Arena, which was headlined by Bentley, Pauls.
Well, we went to the media day, Lawrence Coley and all that.
I would say that is probably the most entertaining fight card I've watched live. I mean, it was fight after fight after fight.
And the knockouts on
there were some brilliant knockouts on that night. And I expect there to be a few interesting, fun little decisions. And I think what this card will do is it'll create a pace building up to Itauma Franklin, which will have a nice kind of excitement about it when you get there. If these fights deliver in the way I expect them to, with the likes of Willy Hutchinson, Ezra Taylor, or Liam Davies fighting for an EBU European, these are going to be exciting, high-level, high-paced fights that build up into it. I think it'd be a really good card to watch up and down.
Yeah, and we complain about the pacing of Queensberry shows. They got to get on with it on Saturday night. Otherwise, we're going to be there until Sunday afternoon.
There's lots of rounds to get through.
Yeah, Nelson Berkshire, Ryan Griffiths, I think, is for the British featherweight title. English, featherweight title is going to be an interesting fight. Michael Gomez Jr., Jordan Flynn. Where's that come from?
It's another competitive fight, isn't it? You've got Billy Denny's Grant Dennis is another one. I've seen Billy Denny's up in... We both saw him, didn't we, up in Barnsley?
Correct.
And he was good Dennis, on that night.
Fought, I want to say Kieran Jones in one of his last outings, because he's on the road now. Yeah, Kieran Jones, and he's fought Shakiel Thompson.
He has.
Got stopped.
Kevin Agarko. There's plenty of names on the record. So, yeah, lots of exciting stuff on this card. I'm really looking forward to it. I suppose we should pick some predictions for this one.
We're not going to mention the app, are we?
No.
We've passed that, mate.
We'll deliver it. We'll finish on the main event. But Nathan Heaney, Jerome Warburton, where do you see that one going? How do you see that one going?
I'm a big fan of both.
I don't want either man to lose, really.
No, exactly. And I think there's a couple of fights on here where you go, I don't want either man to lose. Look, I think Nathan Heaney is at that point in his career where he can't afford to lose again. Whereas Jerome Warburton has probably taken this fight to, put himself in a better position moving forward. But I think there's a bit of motivation there. I'm going to go Jerome Warburton is he going to be to not return to winning ways, but to put in an impressive 10 rounds and win via a points decision.
Yeah, I think for me, this one rides a lot on which Nathan Heaney turns up.
Yeah.
I think if the Nathan Heaney from the Bentley fight, if the Nathan Heaney from the first 6 rounds of the Brad Pauls fight turns up, then I think we're in for a really, really difficult night for Jerome Warburton. But if the one from the back 6 and the next fight with Brad Pauls and or his loss after that as well, I think then it's a difficult question. So I'm going to go for a Heaney win. But I think that there's absolutely a world where Warburton picks this up. I think just we need to see which Heaney turns up. Shakiel Thompson, Brad Pauls.
This is why I hate, as much as I love these cards.
Yeah, they're hard to call.
Them,
I think Brad Pauls is going to pick this one up. I think Shakiel Thompson
He hasn't been trialled and tested.
He's not had the test. I think there was talks about him fighting for a WBO world title off the back of beating, I think it was River Wilson Bent for a WBO European, which is mental. That's not a fight that earns you a world title fight. I think Brad Pauls is brilliant. Like I said, I think he's interesting, exciting, powerful, and I think he'll cause Shakiel Thompson problems. I think he could possibly stop him late as well.
I've interviewed Brad Pauls. I think he's a great character. He wins.
Fair enough. I feel like you're going a little bit with when there's so close margins, you edge a little bit to your heart over your head. Do you think that's where you're going on this one so far?
I think you got to sometimes.
Liam Davies, Francesco Grandelli.
You must know a lot about this Grandelli fella. What's your thoughts on Italian boxing at the moment?
Lots of them.
Yeah.
We'll save that for another day. He lost to, I think it was Nathaniel Collins. I expect Liam Davies to get back to winning ways and win this one.
Unanimous decision last year.
In a good picture in terms of the world rankings. It's not Zach Miller, unfortunately. I think the Zach Miller fight would have been a really difficult one to pick.
Yeah.
It's not that one, but
he can't afford to lose here.
I think he's a European
Liam
champion
Davies.
after this one.
I don't even think it's a bit harsh to say that Liam Davies has to maybe get the stoppage in this fight.
No, I don't think so.
It's 12 rounds as well. Like
WBC, what was it? WBC champion
WBO.
No, but
and
Collins drew for the WBC world title
with Lorente, and this Grandelli went the distance with.
Exactly.
Well.
So I think he's got some pedigree. He's been in there with some difficult opponents and gone the distance. I think it'll be tough. I think this will be a points decision win for
all right,
Liam Davies. Just agreeing with me. Yeah. That's how it is. Willy Hutchinson, Ezra Taylor. Now this one's a hard one to pick.
I don't know.
How are you seeing this one?
The momentum's in the favour of Hutchinson. He's got the more notable wins, I want to say.
Yeah, I mean, he picked up the win against Mark Jeffers. He lost a split decision to Josh Buatsi
at Wembley, wasn't it?
And he obviously won the Magnificent Seven against Craig Richards. Yeah. So off the back of that, you'd have to say
he's favourite, Willy, but I don't know about the activity of both of them because
so he hasn't. Willy Hutchinson hasn't fought since the Mark Jeffers win.
Fight. Whereas
Ezra Taylor's been back and forth with, I think, Louis Edmondson. There was talks about that fight happening.
Yeah.
I think Troy Jones maybe was his last win.
Steed Woodall.
And Troy Jones was before that. Yeah.
Last October. I'm going to go Willy Hutchinson points decision, but split. I think it's going to be close. And I think that sort of ring, not having that much activity in the last couple of months. Well, last couple of months, it's been nearly a year since he's last fought. So who knows? It could be Ezra Taylor's night, but over 10 rounds, I think Hutchinson's got enough.
I agree with you that Hutchinson's got more on paper. I think the record speaks better. The performance against Josh Buatsi's aged very well.
Yeah, well, it was a split.
But I'm actually going to go for Ezra Taylor on this one. I just think Ezra Taylor will come and be awkward and get a points decision win.
I like it.
And then the main event. For this one,
we know what our predictions are for this.
Well, you have to let us know what Ben's prediction is because you've
well, yeah, here we go.
Sent you his carrier pigeon over
Ben because I wanted him involved in the podcast.
That makes one of us.
He's not here because of other things. So I said at Ben Thomas, messaged him. I tagged him because he's in the main group chat. I don't just at him when I message him privately. Thoughts on a timer this weekend for the pod, and he said KO within 8.
There you go.
But I said thoughts on a timer, and he said KO. So does that mean he's getting knocked out within 8 a timer? Or is he given the knockout? And then I said, does he get tested? And he said, just a hard punching bag to put down. So shall we say?
There you go.
So who's he aiming that at though? Because he hasn't
Franklin. So he thinks it's going to be a one-sided beatdown. Eventually stops him within 8.
Yeah, but who? He didn't say who.
You know what he said though.
Yeah, and I agree with him. I think a timer gets the stoppage.
I think this one either goes very, very few rounds or all the rounds.
Dude, the most important prediction now, though, is what time does the fight begin?
Oh, God.
Because this could be 11 o'clock.
I think it's on Monday if we're lucky.
Yeah.
Like, I think it's going to go on a while. No, I think Itauma will... I do think he'll stop him again. I just can't see a world where anyone takes that kind of beating for a sustained period.
Mm-hmm.
I think the only way to beat Moses Itauma would be to be a world level operator yourself and cause him as many, if not more, problems than he's causing you, which is very, very difficult to do. I think very few people could do it, and I don't think Jermaine Franklin's one of them.
The only benefit that Franklin's got is that he's coming to win.
Yeah.
And as much as that possibly sounds a little bit stupid, when you have that mentality, it probably gives you that extra 10%.
But surely
maybe.
Dillian Whyte was coming to win in his head.
Was
I
he?
think in his head.
At that point in his career?
I think so. I think there was a part of him that thought, I'm a weather that early storm, and then I'm going to show him what world level boxing's like. And I think he got a pretty rude awakening when he thought,
it was a quicker awakening, wasn't it?
I don't know if I can weather this storm. I don't, like you said, I don't know if Jermaine Franklin will do that. I think Jermaine Franklin will look to fight fire with fire. That could be the undoing of him quite early, or it could be the recipe for a longer fight.
Timer is just
it's a joke, yeah.
Unbelievable.
Moves like a middleweight, punches like a super heavyweight. He's got the ring IQ. Yeah. He's got the speed and accuracy, everything. Yeah, he's really, really great. And I hope we continue to see it, because every time we've kind of gone, I think he'll get tested this time. This will be the one where he goes the rounds. This will be the one that goes the rounds. This is the first time I think unanimously we've gone, yeah, he gets the stoppage.
And you know what that means.
Exactly. Yeah. But we'll have to wait and see. But
Here we go.
Obviously, let us know, guys, if you guys have your predictions. ChatGPT didn't have one, so boo AI. Yeah. Apologies to anyone who's fan of the environment. If I wasted a bit of water for the and wasted your time. Yeah.
To be honest, I'm not too sure if that's going to be kept in. So if it has been kept in,
it's been kept in. Why not? We're trying something different.
ChatGPT could be coming for us, mind.
It could be
coming for our job.
It could be, but it said we were expert analysis and stuff. It said we were. Yeah, we were great. So
sometimes
AI is not right. Basically, is what we're saying.
Never trust AI.
Never trust AI.
Always read your books.
It also said that Ben Thomas is involved, and the evidence suggests not. So
I can't wait. I'm not being funny. I can't wait for Ben to come back, because the seat that we sit in is a lot more comfortable than this one.
Oh,
believe me. So Ben, come back, please, mate.
But yeah, if you guys like the sound of any of that, all of that, some of that, then obviously stick around till next week. We'll be reviewing this one. We'll be previewing all the fights coming up. Lots of great stuff. I believe we've got a big weekend. We've got the all-female world title fights, MVP. Chisora Wilder and Lauren Price just over the road. Lots of exciting stuff. Stick around for all of that, and we'll see you all next week.
Punches chance. Punches Chance Podcast.